Alright, so in this video I'm going to share with you how to easily increase your intelligence. Now I don't think I need to explain why you should increase your intelligence because honestly if you need for me to persuade you to increase your intelligence, you should probably just turn off the video. So first, and most importantly, we need to understand what is intelligence actually and how are we defining it in this context. So the first definition of intelligence is the ability to comprehend and to understand and profit from experience. Second definition is intelligence is a dynamic capacity for learning and adapting to one's environment. Now for the record, I have to say I actually have notes and an outline on here. I'm not just like checking my email while I'm making a video, because I will say there was actually one time where I was looking at an outline and someone wrote me a mean email saying that they wished I would pay more attention when I was making my videos. So I just want you to know that yes, this is an outline. No, I'm not like texting and multitasking while recording video. Very important caveat. So those are the first two definitions. The ability to comprehend, to understand, and profit from experience. We all want that. Second is a dynamic capacity for learning and adapting to one's environment. So given these definitions, learning, knowledge, reasoning, imagination, creativity, innovation, fun, evolution, and technology are actually all sub-processes of intelligence. So if we want to increase our creativity, we want to increase our innovation, our imagination, our knowledge, our wisdom, our fun, our evolution, then we need to increase our intelligence. So then how do we do that? How do we actually increase our intelligence? Based on these definitions and based on the importance of doing so. So there's 6 ways to do this. First, to increase the diversity of input and increase the variety of sensory perceptions that we're taking in. So that basically means increase the diversity of information that you're taking in. So instead of just reading, fishing magazines, right? Say you're someone who just loves fishing, right? And you're just into it. Okay, start to read, hunting magazines. Start to read magazines on music. Start to read magazines on science. Start to read magazines on business and entrepreneurship and just things that really broaden your horizons. Not that you're actually going to need it or need to apply it, but just having that dexterity. And I can tell you, I worked at a library for about 4 or 5 years, and what I would do is just read stuff I didn't care about. So started with reading magazines about quantum physics and science, and then I found an interest in that. And I started reading magazines about like Sports Illustrated, Rolling Stone, Newsweek, then various different journals, and just trying to understand, wow, where are these people coming from? Why are they interested in this, and why is this important? So the first thing is to increase the diversity of input that you're taking in. It doesn't have to be words, it could be music, it could be food, it could be all these different things. So the point is, branch out, increase diversity. Second, increase the diversity of transformations. What that means is increase the diversity of meanings and interpretations and metaphors. So what that means is you read an article, you listen to a song, you have an experience, and you have your immediate, oh, this is what this means. And then usually we just quit and move on to something else. But what this means here is to say, okay, I can see how this way is a way to look at it, but what's another way I could look at it? What's another way I could look at it? What's another way I could look at that? So it's increasing the diversity of transformations and meanings that you're having about the data that you're taking in. Third is increase the diversity of output, meaning that your expression or application of information or emotion or words or thoughts or feelings. So if you really enjoy writing, try learning an instrument. If you really enjoy playing an instrument, try writing. If you really are good at dance, try singing. If you're really good at singing, try dance, or vice versa, or something that is different than what you're trying. Like for example, I enjoy playing guitar, I enjoy writing poetry, right? And I write it in a certain form that I've kind of always just stuck in. So for me, I would say, why don't I try a different form? Why don't I try maybe a haiku? Why don't I try a longer version? Why don't I try not to rhyme as much? Why don't I try a different form of beat or rhythm to it? So you see what I'm saying there. So that's increase the diversity of output, expression, and application. 4 is to improve the conditions of the physical support systems. Basically means your body, your environment. So eat better, exercise, take care of yourself, keep your environment clean, keep your environment harmonious, and that will facilitate and support your increase in expansion and creativity and imagination. Fifth would be remove or reduce the environmental factors which inhibit your intelligence. Things like labels, things like limiting beliefs, things like bureaucracies, things like religions, things like society and cultural conditioning that's pushed on us that makes us, on one hand, think, well, this is how I really feel, this is how I really want to express, but I can't because this label says I can't, or this label says I shouldn't, or I'm a man and I can't cry, or I'm a woman and I can't be dominant, or just things like that keep us locked in and boxed and not being able to express ourselves fully. So reduce or remove the environmental factors, labeled bureaucracies, etc., which inhibit our intelligence and expression and creativity. Sixth, and finally, is increase the factors which support our intelligence. Things like having good communities, having good friends, increasing our situations where it's just kind of unpredictable, so we're having to be more adaptive. Technologies, communication technologies, all of these things will be environmental factors that will support our intelligence to help us expand, be more diverse, and be more able to profit and learn from experience. So those are 6 ways that you can increase intelligence, 6 things that I've done personally and will hopefully be doing for the rest of my life to just continually grow, learn, change, increase imagination, increase creativity, and most importantly, increase fun. So if you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.